Has it ever happened that you wanted something with all your might, but it seemed like the universe was simply ignoring you? You make positive affirmations, visualize what you desire, even follow those manifestation techniques everyone talks about, but nothing changes. Life goes on the same way, and that feeling that only others achieve what you so desperately want starts to bother you. It's frustrating, isn't it? This experience is more common than you might think, and the problem isn't that the universe is ignoring you, but rather how you're sending the message. What many people don't realize is that manifestation isn't just about wanting something. It's about aligning your energy and mind in a strategic way. The most common mistake people make when trying to manifest something is believing that simply wanting it intensely is enough. But the universe doesn't respond to random desires. It responds to vibrations, emotions, and actions aligned with what you want to achieve. If someone desires prosperity but spends the day complaining about money and reinforcing scarcity beliefs, what energy are they sending out? Exactly the opposite of what they want to manifest. It's like asking to receive a gift while convincing yourself that it will never arrive. Manifestation is not just about thinking positively, but about changing how you feel and act in relation to your desire. Now, imagine a radio trying to tune into a specific station. If there are interferences, noise, or mixed signals, the message won't come through clearly. The same happens with manifestation. If someone is filled with doubts, fear, and insecurity, the signal they send to the universe is unclear. The key to changing this is to reprogram these internal patterns and learn to send a strong and coherent signal. To do this, it is essential to understand how the mind truly works and how to transform abstract desires into something that your reality can reflect. From here, we will dive into the mechanisms that make manifestation truly work, without mystical tricks, just through science, mindset, and action. Everything we think, feel, and believe emits a frequency to the universe, and that frequency determines what we attract into our lives. The problem is that many people don't realize they are sending mixed signals. Want an example? Someone desires a loving relationship, but constantly nurtures thoughts like, "No one is worth it," "I only attract the wrong people," or "It's better to be alone than to get hurt again." What is this person transmitting? Exactly the energy of loneliness and distrust. Even if they say they want a partner, their vibration is rejecting that possibility. This applies to every area of life: money, success, health, opportunities. If the frequency you emit doesn't match what you desire, nothing changes. The mind works like a radio, tuning into different stations. If you want to hear a specific song, you need to set the right frequency, right? If you're on the wrong channel, there's no point in complaining that the song isn't playing. With manifestation, the process is identical. If your mind is constantly focused on what is lacking, the fear of failure, or the doubt of whether something can truly happen for you, that is the signal you are sending out. The question is, what frequency are you choosing right now? Are you transmitting security, gratitude, and confidence? Or are you allowing the interference of your limiting beliefs to take over the signal? The good news is that this frequency can be adjusted. The first step is to start paying attention to what you think and feel throughout the day. Whenever a thought misaligned with your desires arises, ask yourself, is this really the message I want to send to the universe? Small changes in this perception already begin to shift what you attract. Moreover, there are specific techniques to strengthen this signal, such as repeating positive affirmations, detailed visualization, and shifting emotional patterns. In the next sections, you will understand exactly how to apply these strategies, so that the universe not only receives your message, but responds to it. The human mind plays a much bigger role in creating reality than most people realize. The brain does not distinguish between what is real and what is intensely visualized. To it, if something is experienced with enough emotion and detail, it is already part of reality. This means that if someone constantly feeds thoughts of failure and scarcity, the brain treats it as an absolute truth, and life reflects precisely that perception. On the other hand, when the mind receives clear commands of success, happiness, and prosperity, it starts seeking ways to turn them into reality. Think of your mind as a movie projector. What you see on the screen of life is a reflection of what is playing internally. If inside you there is a film of difficulties, lack, and limitations, that is what will be displayed in your daily life. Now, if you change the script and start projecting mental images of confidence, growth, and achievements, little by little, that reality will also take shape. Neuroscience proves that repeated thoughts create pathways in the brain, strengthening mental patterns. If someone spends years believing that making money is difficult, for example, this idea strengthens and reflects in their life. But if they decide to reprogram that belief and reinforce a new vision of prosperity, their brain begins to work differently, creating new neural connections that support this change. This does not mean that simply thinking positively will change everything overnight. The point is that by shifting mental patterns, decisions and actions also change. A person who starts believing they are capable of success begins to act differently, seek new opportunities, and open themselves up to possibilities they previously didn't even consider. This is reflected in the way they speak, position themselves, and even perceive the chances life offers. That is why the connection between mind and reality is so powerful. The more aware you become of this process, the more you can use it to your advantage. And for that, we will dive deeper into the technique of multisensory visualization. If the mind is a projector and reality reflects what is being played internally, then it makes sense to adjust this film to something aligned with your desires. But visualization doesn't just mean creating a vague mental image of what you want. Truly effective visualization engages all the senses. The more real it feels to your brain, the stronger the impact on your subconscious. And why does this work? Because the brain reacts more strongly to emotional stimuli than to simple word repetition. Let's take a practical example. Suppose someone wants their dream job. If this person closes their eyes and simply thinks, "I want a new job," nothing happens. But if they place themselves inside the experience, feeling the weight of the ID badge around their neck, hearing the sound of colleagues chatting in the background, smelling the morning coffee in the office, and touching the desk in their new workspace, the mind registers it as something real. The brain, by processing this experience as if it is already happening, begins creating new neural connections to bring this reality into the present. The biggest mistake many people make when trying to visualize is seeing themselves as a spectator, as if they were watching a movie of their own life. But the correct way is to be inside the scene, experiencing the situation in the first person. This activates much stronger emotional reactions, and emotion is the key to sending a clear signal to the universe. To make this process a habit, it's ideal to set aside a few minutes daily, preferably before bed or right after waking up, for this mental immersion. Repeating this exercise strengthens the connection between mind and reality, making manifestation more natural. Now, let's talk about another essential element of this process: active gratitude. Most people think of gratitude as something to practice only when they receive something good. But the truth is that gratitude is a powerful tool to accelerate manifestation. When you feel grateful for something that hasn't arrived yet, you're sending a clear signal to the universe that you believe it's already yours. And that's when the magic happens. The frequency of gratitude creates an energetic field that attracts more reasons to be grateful. The problem is that many confuse gratitude with simple politeness. Saying thank you without truly feeling the impact of the word changes nothing. What makes the difference is generating genuine emotion within yourself. Think about the last time you ordered something online. The moment you made the purchase, you already knew the order would arrive, so you didn't feel anxious or doubt whether it would be delivered. You just waited patiently. Gratitude for manifestation works the same way. When you feel grateful in advance for something that hasn't happened yet, your brain interprets it as a certainty and starts directing your focus toward actions and opportunities that will make it real. Instead of vibrating in the energy of lack, you start vibrating in the energy of fulfillment, and that makes all the difference in how life responds. To incorporate this practice effectively, a simple exercise is to write down at least 5 things you are grateful for every day, including desires that haven't materialized yet. For example, if you want a new car, write something like, "I'm deeply grateful for my new car, for the feeling of driving with comfort and freedom." This type of affirmation, when done with genuine feeling, aligns your energy with what you want to attract. And when combined with visualization, the effect becomes even stronger. There is a big misconception when it comes to manifestation. Many people think it's enough to think positively and wait for things to happen. But without action, nothing changes. The difference between those who truly transform their lives and those who just dream lies in taking action. However, we're not talking about just any kind of action. Chasing a goal desperately without strategy can create more frustration than results. The secret is in inspired action, the kind that emerges when your mind and energy are aligned with what you want. Inspired action does not come from fear or anxiety, but from a state of clarity. Many times, it may feel like a simple impulse, an idea that comes out of nowhere, or an unexpected invitation. Have you ever thought about someone, and shortly after, that person messaged you? This is an example of how energies connect. The same happens when you align with your desires. Small signs appear. Opportunities emerge, and if you're paying attention, you'll know when to act. But it takes courage to follow these impulses. How often does an opportunity knock, but insecurity makes someone hesitate? Intuition says to take action, but fear paralyzes. To practice inspired action, a great exercise is to pay attention to the small signs in everyday life. It could be a conversation that sparks a new idea, a book that appears at the right moment, or even a different path that leads to a new opportunity. When you feel the urge to take action, ask yourself, is this coming from a place of fear or confidence? If the answer is confidence, move forward. Manifestation doesn't happen by magic. It happens when you learn to recognize the right moments to act. In the next section, we'll talk about the main obstacles that can block this process and how to overcome them. Even when people understand how manifestation works, many end up sabotaging themselves without realizing it. This happens because there are mental blocks that prevent the process from flowing naturally. The first major obstacle is doubt. If deep down, a person doesn't believe that what they want is possible for them, their energy becomes divided between wanting and doubting at the same time. The result? A confusing signal to the universe and no real change. The solution here isn't to force a new belief overnight, but rather to reinforce small pieces of evidence that what they desire can happen. A great exercise is to recall moments when something worked out, even when it seemed unlikely. This helps build a history of trust. Another common block is resistance to change. Many people want to transform their lives, but unconsciously fear that transformation. Someone may say they want wealth, but they feel uncomfortable thinking about taking on more responsibilities. Or they may want a romantic relationship, but fear getting hurt. This resistance creates subtle self-sabotage. The best way to deal with this is to ask yourself, if my desire were to manifest right now, what would change in my life? If there's discomfort in the answer, there is a hidden fear behind the manifestation. Working through this fear is essential to unlocking the process. Impatience is also a common obstacle. Many people give up midway because they expect immediate results. But manifestation doesn't follow a fixed timeline. The timing of each shift depends on various factors, including how truly aligned a person is with what they desire. The key here is to keep adjusting thoughts, emotions, and actions without obsessing over when it will happen. Just like a seed needs time to grow, manifestation unfolds at the right moment. Now, let's talk about a factor that can either speed up or completely block this process: your environment and the people around you. A plant only grows if it is in fertile soil. The same is true for manifestation. Your environment can either nurture or suffocate your dreams. If you surround yourself with negative people who constantly complain and doubt your potential, your mind absorbs that energy and starts vibrating at the same frequency. This happens because the human brain is programmed to adapt to its surroundings. If everyone around you sees life as a constant struggle, your mind will naturally reinforce that belief, even if you try to think differently. This doesn't mean you need to cut ties with everyone who doesn't share your vision, but it is essential to filter conversations and the type of energy you allow into your mental space. If someone close to you always dismisses your ideas, learn to set boundaries. Not everything needs to be shared with everyone. Some manifestations need to be nurtured in silence, away from the opinions of those who don't believe in them. At the same time, seek to connect with people who have a more expansive mindset. Reading inspiring books, watching content that broadens your worldview, and joining groups with similar goals can make all the difference. Beyond people, your physical environment also impacts your energy. If your home or workspace is cluttered, that disorder directly affects your mental state. Messy spaces create distractions and make mental clarity more difficult. Small changes, like tidying up your surroundings, removing things that no longer serve a purpose, and creating a space that represents the life you want, help strengthen your frequency. Everything around you influences your manifestation, so be intentional about surrounding yourself with stimuli that reinforce what you desire. Now let's talk about a concept that can change everything in your journey: detachment and trust in the process. One of the biggest traps in manifestation is the obsession with results. Many people do everything right. They visualize, feel gratitude, take inspired actions, but they end up blocking the process by trying to control every detail of how and when things should happen. The problem is that this need for control creates anxiety and impatience, generating the exact opposite vibration of what they want. Detachment doesn't mean giving up on your desires. It means trusting that the universe knows the best way to deliver them. When someone plants a seed, they don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. They simply trust that, in the right time, it will bloom. The fear that things won't happen as expected causes many people to cling to a single path without realizing that there may be even better possibilities. Someone might wish for a promotion at a job that no longer fulfills them, without noticing that their true path to prosperity could be through a completely different opportunity. This is one of the reasons manifestation seems not to work for some people. They insist on a specific outcome instead of leaving room for new solutions. The universe works with infinite possibilities, and often what you desire may come in an unexpected and much better way than you imagined. The key to aligning with this process is a combination of clarity and flexibility. It's important to know what you want, feel as if you've already achieved it, and take the necessary actions, but without becoming attached to a specific way it must unfold. The more ease you bring into the process, the faster things flow. If you notice anxiety creeping in, take a deep breath and remind yourself everything happens at the right time. Manifestation isn't about forcing, it's about allowing. In the next and final section, we'll discuss how to turn this knowledge into a lifestyle, making manifestation a natural and continuous part of your life. Most people see manifestation as an isolated exercise, something they do for a while and then abandon when results don't appear immediately. But the true power of manifestation happens when it becomes part of your routine, a way of living. This means that instead of focusing only on what you want to attract, you learn to maintain a mental and emotional state aligned with your desires, regardless of external circumstances. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment to start changing, but about adjusting your frequency now, no matter what is happening around you. The key difference between people who manifest their desires consistently and those who struggle is emotional discipline. They don't constantly fluctuate between belief and doubt. They develop daily habits that reinforce their mindset and keep their energy high. Small practices make a big difference. Visualizing goals before bed, expressing gratitude daily, maintaining an environment aligned with their desires, and most importantly, staying aware of opportunities as they arise. All of these keep the mind focused on what truly matters, preventing distractions and negative thoughts from derailing the process. Making manifestation a way of life doesn't mean living in constant expectation that something magical will happen at any moment. It means adopting a conscious approach to the reality you are creating every day. If something isn't working out as expected, instead of falling into a cycle of complaints and frustration, ask yourself, what am I transmitting to the universe? What can I adjust in my energy and actions? This level of awareness completely transforms the way you relate to your own life. Manifestation is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. And when you learn to live in alignment with this energy, you'll begin to notice that reality responds in a much more fluid and favorable way.